I don't know what the issue is on this one. They are riddled with pest damage, but I have not treated this one with respect. I think it's just gonna have to go in the bin at this point. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about some plants that I am on the struggle bus with. I cannot seem to get right. I feel like in general, disclaimer, my plants are growing very, very well. I'm very pleased with them. I feel like things are in a really good spot in my home, so that is really, really good. But there are still just a few that I cannot seem to get right, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on with all of them, so advice is appreciated where I'm struggling. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about plants I'm struggling with. So that's what's happening today. Before I get into it though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around and watch some more of my videos and subscribe to my channel. If you are not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you returning. Oh, also, I mean, my mic's on it right now so you can't fully see it, but I have new merch. I've got new merch out right now and it is linked down below in the description if you want to get some for yourself. I worked with the amazing Beth Ann Designs on this and she drew this up for me and it's absolutely freaking gorgeous and I feel like it's so cute, and there's a little Cleo on it as well, which is good because Cleo is my little darling angel. And we got a regal, a fernleaf cactus, an Peperomia pinnatum with splits, and a beautiful begonia maculata on the bottom. I absolutely love it. If anyone is interested in getting it, it's down below on my website, or you can put it on your Christmas list, whatever you fancy, it's down there. But I just wanted to show it off because I'm like super duper excited about it right now. So, right now let's do the plant thing. So I think the first one I'm gonna talk about is this one here. This is my Philodendron pinnatilobum. And while yes, it has grown quite a bit since I got it as I think a 1 or 2 leaf prop from Claire back in I think May time. It's been several months at this point, so it has grown very, very well and like sized up decently, but it definitely must have had some pests at some point. Like look at that leaf in there. It just looks damaged. All of the leaves have this sort of weird mottling on them. I'm pretty positive it is previous pest damage, but at the same time I haven't seen any pests on it, so I'm really, really unsure. I know I struggle with philodendrons in general, and like especially the ones that kind of grow a bit crazy. I know I need to get this one on a moss pole as soon as I can, but this is one of the ones that I really want to get onto some sort of front opening moss pole so I can adjust it if I need to. And I don't know, it's just, it's growing not, I definitely had some pests on it. I think it might still have pests. I really don't know. I'm keeping an eye on it and it normally has a predatory mite sachet on it. But like these leaves just show that it is not the happiest of campers. Even the like new ones on them are not perfect. I mean that does look pretty perfect, so I don't know. But I also did lose the new leaf on it. I genuinely don't know why that happened. It just rotted off, and so I removed it obviously, and so that definitely feels like some sort of fault of my own, and maybe it is because it didn't get enough water while that new leaf was coming out. I have just watered it, so it is like quite waterlogged at the minute. This isn't damaged. This is like fairly normal for leaves to look right after they've been watered. But I can't seem to get this one growing exactly right without pests or anything like that. And it's really weird because none of the other plants in that area had signs of pests or pests at all. So I'm really unsure. I'm really unsure, basically. So, I mean, maybe hopefully I can get it on a pole soon and hopefully get it growing bigger, because it would be cool to get it growing nicer. But at the same time, I really hope the leaves don't continue to just kind of degrade, because I think it looks ugly, to be honest. So this isn't one of my prized possessions at the minute. It is such a cool plant when it grows well, but unfortunately mine just isn't growing well at this point. One thing that I am also somewhat confused about, and a little bit ashamed to admit, This propagation, I am struggling with propagations at the minute in like sphagnum moss. I genuinely don't know what has happened. It's like some sort of weird regression where like suddenly I can't propagate things in sphagnum moss. They just like don't prop. And this is a snow queen pothos. It is an Peperomia aurum. It should be one of the easiest things to propagate in the world. And in the past, I've never had any issues propagating Peperomia aurums in water, in perlite, in sphagnum moss, in anything. But like suddenly now it is just like the leaves on it have just fully rotted. It is rotting off the bottom here. I literally I have to throw this away because look at that. It's like not worth saving at this point. Maybe this one. Maybe this one? I mean, this one hasn't rotted yet. So maybe I'll keep this one, or maybe I'll pop it in a prop box or something in a different situation, because obviously this situation wasn't working. I'm gonna save this one just in case, because I mean, it's not like I need this in order to keep the plant. I still have the plant. It's perfectly fine. Cleo just knocked off a massive chunk of it, and I was hoping that I would be able to propagate it, but apparently not. I don't understand what's going on. And like, this is kind of why I was tempted to start using a heat mat, because maybe it's getting too cold. Maybe it's the time of year and it's just not getting the right amount of warmth it needs. But I don't know, because this is not the first propagation that has done this in the past 6 months. And I genuinely do not know what's going on, because I feel like I'm keeping things hydrated enough. I mean, it does feel kind of cold in there. Not cold, but like cool. I really don't know. I'm absolutely baffled by this, and I really don't know where I'm going wrong. But if I can save this, that'd be great. So maybe I will put this in a cup of water, just because I feel like water propagating lately, it's been one of my go-tos, at least. And I know this isn't going into semi-hydro, so like obviously it's not going to be growing necessarily the right roots for water propagation, but I'd rather propagate it at full stop than not at all. So like I said, I'm a bit baffled by it, and I just don't know what the problem is on that one. I feel like I don't know what the problem is on a lot of these ones. They're just a bit... No, I definitely do know some. I do know some. So I know the Schismatoglottis I have here. I've just filled it in, so it's quite heavy. So it looks quite good on camera, I will say. This is looking like a pretty good plant from here, but it is struggling. And I think a good chunk of why it is struggling is because I have it in a spot that's not particularly great for it. It's not getting very much light at all. I mean, I would say it's getting like little to no natural light. So that is my own fault. I need to put it somewhere slightly nicer, but also all of the leaves are like getting browning on them, and I have removed quite a lot of it because I just really don't like the way it looks, but it just leaves these leaves looking, definitely they've looked better previously. I'd prefer them to look all beautiful and Schismatoglottis-y, but unfortunately they're not. And I think, like I said, I think this is a me issue, and if I put this in a better spot, it'll do better. It's also in general not in the warmest spot, and because it's in semi-hydro, that can affect it, because if the water gets too cold or stays cold, it might not be doing like good things for the plant. But it's just also not looking very full. This was growing so well for me. Like, I feel like end of last year time, it was doing really well. And now I've just kind of relegated it to a kind of crappy spot, and it has therefore given me crappy growth. So that is definitely, that's a me problem, and I do want to rectify it, but I'm at the point where it's plants like this that are fairly medium sized. They're quite tall. They don't necessarily fit on my Vitjo shelves. They're quite wide, so they take up a lot of space. It's plants this size that I struggle to find places for. Like small plants, I can find places for pretty much anywhere. Large plants, I can make space for them because they need the space. It's this size that really gets kind of lost in my collection, and I just struggle finding places for them a little bit more. I feel like I just need more tall shelves, if that makes sense. Maybe I could put this on the bit in my Vitjo where I've taken one of the shelves out, and so it'll still get grow light regularly. That's probably the best bet for this one. It is also just extremely thirsty. One of the thirstiest plants I have ever encountered. Thirstier than all of my Alocasias and Calatheas. This one, it even feels thirsty right now. Like it is feeling a bit soft. It's obviously not wilting down, but I can really feel the difference in these leaves when it is thirsty versus when it's not. And I mean, I guess it is because I just watered it, that it's probably not quite perked up yet. But yeah, I think the answer for this one is I need to move it. So I think after this video, I should also probably dust it because it is looking a little bit dusty in there. So I'll dust it and then pop it into the office, which I know I'm not going to be paying attention to it as much in there, but at least it'll be getting better light in that zone and have space for it. Yeah, I'll put it by the El Choco red, which I can I'll show you right now because I'm also struggling with that one. So this plant, I am oscillating so much on it. 1 month it's in my good books, 1 month it's in my bad books. This last leaf that came in was absolutely fantastic. And then it goes to put out a new leaf in there. And I literally had to rescue this leaf because the stem of it, sorry, this is very hard to show you. The stem of it, that bit, was going through that hole in the leaf. It had already punctured itself. And so I needed to go in there and take the caterpillar off and rescue that leaf. And it's now gonna have a massive hole in it and look probably kind of ugly because I think maybe it's a humidity thing and that's why it didn't release itself soon enough. But the same thing happened to this leaf and this leaf. But I thought I had figured it out because the last one was perfectly fine. So I really don't know. Also, the bottom leaves on this one, they are riddled with pest damage. Like, look at all of that. It is ugly. I don't mean to call my plant ugly, but it is absolutely covered in pest damage. And that's because this one had spider mites, I believe. I did manage to get rid of them absolutely fine, but I mean, to be honest, I should probably just remove these bottom leaves because they're just not cute. But they're still providing energy for the plant, and I feel like this guy has so few leaves that I really want to make sure it is getting as much energy as possible into it to continue growing, because this has been the absolute slowest plant for me. I cannot stress enough how slow this one has been for me growing. I got it as a 1 leaf cutting, and in, I feel like, the last 2 or 3 years, it has only grown this many leaves. And maybe this one also just needs a different location, somewhere that's more humid and brighter. I can't really put it in my cabinet because it is just the most awkward looking plant. At least it's not quite as leggy as when it was down here. This is a very leggy leg of a leaf. So maybe if I remove the bottom ones, I could put it in my cabinet because then it wouldn't be so, like, awkward and sprawly. In general, I feel like the cabinet would do really good things for it. So maybe I do put it in the cabinet. Oh, this leaf has damage as well. I'm pretty sure I got rid of all the pests though, so I don't know, maybe I'll give it a wipe. Maybe it's just looking really dusty right now. But yeah, there's definitely past damage residue in here, and this next one is my Alocasia Black Velvet, which I absolutely love. the Alocasia Black Velvet. Y'all know I've been on an absolute Alocasia kick at the minute. I love, 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 love them. I think this one is done. I don't think it wants to continue growing anymore. So I think it grew a flower, and that's why I chopped inside there. You can see there's a cut in there. I think there was a flower, so I chopped the flower off because I didn't want it to waste energy on the flower, but it just hasn't grown any new growth from it at all. And maybe I should like chop it down to the base. I feel like that is probably the best shout for this one. I do feel kind of bad for it because I do really like the Black Velvet, and this is one of my earlier unusual Alocasias. Like, obviously they're not unusual anymore, but back in 2020, they weren't the most common. You couldn't find them in every single plant shop that existed, so it was still quite a new thing for me then. And so I'll be really sad if I lose this one, but I really love Black Velvets in general. So maybe I do just need to cut it. Also, I have corms from it. Oh, that one's just come off. I have a corm from it, so maybe I pot this into my corm system. And then, I mean, I did just repot it into this as well, so I don't know. I don't think it's growing roots either. Normally when I've potted Alocasias into these ones, which I did about the same time for each of them, they have started growing hella roots and even started growing out the bottom of the like clear bit. But this one, while it does have some roots in there, it's really, really not, it's not doing much compared to how my other Alocasias that I've put into these ones at the similar time have been doing. So I definitely need to switch something up with this one, and I think it might be a start over process, which is kind of scary because I don't normally do that with my Alocasias. It'll be fine. I have to try it sometime. It's just scary because I don't want to lose this one because I do really like it. So yeah. The next one is this. So this is a Huperzia. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I could be pronouncing it incorrectly, but it is a Huperzia, and I got this as a cutting like this, literally just a cutting from another plant swap in October, and I've popped it into some water to hopefully propagate, and it has done absolutely nothing. It has done like less than nothing, and unfortunately the growth on the ends of it is looking a little bit worse for wear. It is not looking good. I think it is just gonna die. And loads of you commented on my my swap video saying that Huperzia do not propagate well, and I was like, oh yeah, fine, like probably not, but I'll give it a go anyways. This is proof they do not propagate well. I've had it in a prop vessel with loads of other things that were propping, and those have all got roots. This one, no roots, nothing, and just getting worse and worse and worse looking. So I think it might be time to just give up on this one a little bit. I have checked it for pests several times because I noticed that the leaves were looking a little bit funky, but I haven't noticed anything on them. I don't see any pests. It's just, I think it's just not going to prop. I think that is the end of it. It is not growing roots from any of the places you would think it would grow roots from. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to keep this one. I think it's just going to have to go in the bin at this point, but it's fine. I will live. It was a gift, so I'm not crying about it, but it would have been cool if I could have gotten it to work. And then lastly, again, I think this one is completely my fault. It's my Peperomia Hope. Oh, it's just, one, it's been dropping leaves pretty steadily, but two, it has grown the most leggy growth ever. and on all of its different things. And I'm pretty sure that is because I've popped it on top of my greenhouse cabinet. It doesn't get any light up there. That is the gist of it. It does not get any light up there, and unfortunately that means that it is going to grow this really leggy, terrible growth. And I mean, I don't think that explains why it's dropping leaves, but it also could just be because it's not getting enough light, that the water I'm giving it is not soaking up fast enough, so it's feeling like a little bit overwatered. I also don't think I ever, oh yeah, I'll take that out. I don't think I ever changed like the soil on this one, so maybe I will give it a repot soon. I'll add it to my list of things that I need to repot, and once it's got new soil, I can put it in a new place with more light, and hopefully it can stop growing badly. I think I might also, when I do that, give it a chop and chop off these leggy ends, because I don't need this tiny little growth. That isn't what I got the Peperomia Hope for. I got it for these beautiful, like, coin leaves. And so I'm not gonna be mad to lose this bad growth. I think it'll kind of be starting it fresh again. Might be a good idea. So yeah, I think this one, entirely my own fault that I have not treated this one with respect that it deserves. But that happens. It happens to everyone. You can't give every single plant in your home the perfect spot, and I haven't with this one, and I think something needs to change, and I'm going to put it on my list of things that I need to do to get it going. Basically, I feel like I've just talked through all my problems and figured out, for a majority of them, what I'm gonna do to solve them, what I'm gonna do going forward. I don't think I have the capacity to do that today, but I do have the capacity to put them on my list, and when I do feel like I have a little bit more in me, I can go ahead and make sure these are in a better spot. So yeah, that is the last plant I have on my struggling plants list. I mean, I hope this makes some of you feel a little bit better, to show that, like, things aren't always perfect. They're not always gonna be looking amazing, and like, plants are work and they do require care. And when you have this many plants, it's probable that you're not gonna be able to give 100% of care to all of the plants, and that could be some of the issues. I don't know what the issue is on this one. Please help me for the propagations. I need help. I don't know what's going on. So yeah, that is all of the plants that I am struggling with right now in my collection. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you hopefully don't feel alone in your struggles if you are struggling with plants. I really hope sincerely that you are not struggling with any plants right now, but if you are, you're not alone. I'm here with you. We're all going through it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to keep growing. Bye!